It was great. It really was. And we kind of grew together. And he did have that music right here and right here. And we just would laugh, have a good time, and it was wonderful.
She's called the Queen of Soul, but Gladys Knight's life is a powerful story of triumph over heartbreak, struggle, and unexpected challenges. From early fame with the Pips to personal battles with love, loss, and even a kidnapping, her journey is anything but ordinary. What shaped the woman behind hits like Midnight Train to Georgia? How did she find strength through faith and family? Join us as we uncover the untold story of Gladys Knight, a legend whose voice and spirit have inspired millions. Early life and family background. Often celebrated as the Queen of Soul, she rose to fame during the late 1960s and early 70s as a key figure in one of Motown's most beloved acts. She was the voice and heart of Gladys Knight and the Pips, a family group from Atlanta. The Pips included her brother, Merrill Bubba Knight, and her cousins, William Guest and Edward Patton. Together, they made music that still touches hearts today. However, behind the spotlight and applause, her personal life had its struggles. Gladys Knight's journey was not without pain. She endured broken relationships and went through several divorces. Still, she stayed determined and kept pushing forward with her music. Personal life and marriages. Born on May 28, 1944, Gladys Maria Knight is more than just a legendary singer. She's also a gifted songwriter, actress, and entrepreneur. With a career that has lasted for decades, she has earned widespread respect and numerous awards. Her most unforgettable role was leading the Pips, creating a name known across the globe. But while her professional path soared, her love life was full of challenges. She married 4 times and became a mother early in life. At only 16, she discovered she was expecting a child and married her high school sweetheart, James "Jimmy" Newman, a fellow musician from Atlanta. Tragically, she suffered a miscarriage during that period, but later had 2 children with Jimmy. Their relationship became difficult as he battled drug addiction and eventually left when Gladys was just 20. Despite the problems, their marriage lasted more than a decade, ending in 1973 after many tough years. Gladys Knight and James Newman welcomed their first child, James "Jimmy" Gaston Newman III, on August 13, 1962. Around this time, despite facing many challenges, Gladys made the difficult choice to pause her music career. She stopped touring for a while so she could focus on being a full-time mom, while the Pips continued to perform without her. In 1963, Gladys Knight welcomed her daughter, Kenya Maria Newman, and rejoined the Pips to help support her growing family. The family moved to Detroit, living in Sherwood Forest and later on LaSalle Avenue, where they prioritized their children's education by enrolling them in a local Catholic school. Still, things weren't easy between Gladys and James. After being apart for several years, she eventually made the decision to officially end their marriage in 1973. Not long after, James passed away, bringing a close to a long and painful chapter in her life. In 1974, after dealing with the heartbreak of her first relationship, Gladys found love again, this time with Barry Hankerson. He was the founder of Blackground Records, the same label that would later work with his niece, the well-known singer Aaliyah. Together, Gladys and Barry had a son named Shanga Ali Hankerson, born on August 1, 1976. Gladys Knight's second marriage to Barry Hankerson faced difficulties, leading to their separation in 1979 after moving to Atlanta. The breakup triggered a tough custody battle over their son, Shanga Ali. That same year, Shanga was kidnapped, prompting Gladys to spend over $1 million in a relentless search until he was safely recovered. Even with all the personal struggles she was facing, Gladys entered another marriage in 1995. This time, she tied the knot with Les Brown, a well-known motivational speaker.
And as I was working to develop myself, I applied for a job as a disc jockey, WMB. I'm on Miami Beach. I went to a guy named Milton Butterball. I said, how you doing, Mr. Butterball? I'd like to get a job as a disc jockey. He looked at me, he said, you have any broadcast background? I said, no, sir, I don't.
But like her earlier marriages, this one was also short-lived. The two went their separate ways and finalized their divorce in 1997. Struggles and spirituality. In addition to her relationship issues, Gladys also had a private battle with gambling. For over 10 years, she dealt with a serious addiction. One particularly devastating night in the late 1980s, she lost $660,000 playing baccarat. That moment pushed her to take action. She chose to get help and joined Gamblers Anonymous, a support group that played a major role in helping her recover. Through all these ups and downs, Gladys also experienced deep personal growth. Although she was raised Baptist, she made a major spiritual change in 1997 by converting to Catholicism. Not long afterward, she continued her faith journey by joining the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormon Church. Her decision to explore the LDS faith was inspired by her children, who had also joined the church. As she became more involved, one amusing moment stood out. During a conversation with LDS President Gordon B. Hinckley, she lightheartedly mentioned that the church's music could use a bit more spirit. To her surprise, he agreed, and this moment sparked the creation of the Grammy-winning Saints Unified Voices Gospel Choir. Outside of her music, Gladys also stepped into a leadership role within the church community. She directed the B1 choir during a major celebration marking 40 years since the revelation on the priesthood. This event highlighted not just her talent, but her deep commitment to faith and service. During an important phase of her career, her son Jimmy Newman became a key figure behind the scenes. He managed her professional matters through his company, Newman Management Incorporated. Sadly, on July 10, 1999, Jimmy passed away from heart failure at only 36. His unexpected death was a heavy blow to the entire family. He left behind his wife Micheline, their daughters Anastasia and Gabrielle, and sons Ron, Stefan, and Sterling. In time, Gladys found joy again in 2001 when she married William McDowell. Their union blended two families into one large, loving group. Together they share 17 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. The couple built a warm, close-knit home life. They eventually settled in Fairview, North Carolina, where they purchased a former high school building in Asheville. They transformed it into a community center, showing their dedication to uplifting the local neighborhood. Legacy, honors, and philanthropy. Gladys never stopped giving back.
Empress of Soul herself, world-famous singer Gladys Knight, will be in Madison this weekend.
She's performing a special concert Saturday night at the Overture Center, and it is a fundraiser for...
In 2017, she lent her support to a charity event benefiting the Children's Learning Centers of Fairfield County, continuing her legacy of service beyond the stage. The fundraiser, held at the Palace Theater and hosted by Carol Ann Riddell and Alan Coulter, brought in a remarkable $400,000 to support a meaningful cause. Gladys Knight's life has been shaped by strength, love, and an unwavering sense of purpose. She's faced life's challenges with courage and grace, all while making a significant mark through her music and generosity. Her journey stands as an inspiring example of resilience, family values, and the incredible impact one person can have. Enduring impact on music and culture. Let's revisit the highlights of Gladys Knight's remarkable music career, which spanned the 1960s through the 1980s. Alongside the Pips, she delivered countless memorable songs that deeply resonated with fans around the globe. With their smooth harmonies and Gladys's powerful voice, the group quickly became iconic. They're most famously remembered for two chart-topping songs, Midnight Train to Georgia and That's What Friends Are For, the latter featuring a star-filled lineup including Dionne Warwick, Elton John, and Stevie Wonder. But these hits were only part of their success. The group also earned 11 #1 singles on the R&B charts, and produced 6 albums that reached the top of the R&B rankings. Their lasting success speaks volumes about their creativity and musical skill. Gladys Knight's contributions to the industry have been widely recognized. She's won 7 Grammy Awards, 4 as a solo artist, and 3 with the Pips, solidifying her legacy as one of the most influential voices in soul and R&B history. Gladys Knight's powerful voice and iconic songs like I Heard It Through the Grapevine and Midnight Train to Georgia earned her spots in the Grammy Hall of Fame. Beyond singing, she showcased her versatility by recording the James Bond theme, License to Kill. Her lasting influence was further recognized when Rolling Stone named her among the 100 greatest singers of all time. Her remarkable contributions have been recognized with major honors, including the National Medal of Arts and the Kennedy Center honors. Alongside the Pips, she was also welcomed into both the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Vocal Group Hall of Fame, celebrating their lasting influence on the industry. So how did it all begin for Gladys Knight? She was born in Atlanta to Merrill Woodlow Knight Sr., who worked for the Postal Service, and Sarah Elizabeth Woods. She grew up in a tight-knit family with siblings including her sister Brenda and brother Merrill Bubba Knight Jr. The family also faced heartbreak when they lost another son, David Billy Knight. Gladys's journey into music started early. In the late 1940s and early 1950s, she found her love for singing in church. It quickly became clear she had a special gift. By the age of 8, she had already reached a major turning point. On July 1st, 1952, she won the Ted Mack's Original Amateur Hour TV talent show, a sign of the great career ahead of her. Formation of Gladys Knight and the Pips. The group that would become Gladys Knight and the Pips came together in an unexpected way. At Bubba's 10th birthday party, the music suddenly cut out when the record player stopped working. To keep the party going, Gladys, Bubba, their sister Brenda, and their cousins Eleanor and William Guest began singing together, starting what would soon become a legendary group. What began as a casual attempt to keep a birthday party lively turned into the start of something incredible. Their spontaneous singing left such a strong impression that everyone urged them to consider forming a music group. Their mother, Sarah Elizabeth Knight, instantly saw their potential and became their biggest cheerleader, encouraging them to take their gift more seriously. Motivated by a cousin named James "Pip" Woods, they named themselves the Pips and started practicing with focus and commitment. They spent many hours working on their vocal blend, stage skills, and overall style. Before long, they began competing in talent contests throughout Atlanta. Their sharp performances and Gladys's powerful voice helped them stand out and win over crowds. Their growing popularity soon caught the attention of people in the music scene. In 1957, their efforts paid off when they landed their first recording deal with Brunswick Records. Though their first 2 singles didn't make it onto the charts, it was clear that the group had something special. They got important early exposure by opening for famous R&B stars like Jackie Wilson and Sam Cooke. These opportunities allowed them to grow artistically and learn from top performers. In 1959, after their contract with Brunswick ended, the Pips faced a turning point when Brenda Knight and Eleanor Guest left to focus on family. Refusing to give up, Gladys and Bubba brought in cousin Edward Patton and friend Langston George, revitalizing the group. With stronger harmonies and Gladys's powerful voice, they developed a fresh sound and earned a reputation as a rising act in music. They kept moving forward even when things seemed nearly impossible. Those early struggles turned out to be the building blocks of what would eventually become a legendary career. Their determination and love for music helped them create a lasting impact not only in soul music, but across the entire music industry. Early career struggles and breakthrough. In 1961, Gladys Knight and the group reached an important turning point in their journey when they recorded the track Every Beat of My Heart, originally written by Johnny Otis. At the time, they didn't have a big-name label supporting them. Fortunately, a local Atlanta company, Huntom Records, believed in them and partnered with VJ Records to help release the song. The group then headed to New York to chase bigger opportunities and auditioned for Bobby Robinson's Fury Records. When they arrived, they learned that Every Beat of My Heart was already gaining national attention and climbing the charts. However, the group wasn't receiving proper credit or earnings from the release. To fix this, Robinson had them re-record the song under his label. This decision proved wise. Both versions of the song ended up charting. The original version through Huntom and VJ reached number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100, and the new Fury Records version also received strong attention. It was a turning point that gave the group their first real taste of fame. Around this time, the group officially changed their name to Gladys Knight and the Pips, highlighting Gladys's standout role as the lead singer. With their name solidified and momentum building, they were well on their way to stardom. In 1961, they came out with Letter Full of Tears, a song that made it into the top 40 and boosted their reputation even more.
It was great. It really was. And we kind of grew together. And he did have that music right here and right here. And we just would laugh.
Building on that momentum, they continued to release several tracks under Fury Records, each one helping them grow their fan base and earn praise from critics. The following year brought changes when Langston George left the group. While his exit marked the end of a chapter, it also opened the door for a new phase in their journey. Around the same period, Gladys Knight chose to take some time off to concentrate on her personal life. She married fellow musician Jimmy Newman and paused her career to start a family. Though her presence was missed, the group's story was far from over. In 1964, Gladys made her return, bringing new passion and focus with her. This comeback became a key moment for the group. They signed with Larry Maxwell's Max label, which gave them new chances to explore their musical style. Working with producer Van McCoy, they released several songs that reflected their growth. These tracks blended soul, R&B, and pop, with Gladys's rich vocals and the Pips' harmony shining through. This wasn't just a continuation, it was a creative shift that showed how much they had matured. Their music took on new depth and appeal, helping them build a legacy that would last for decades. Rise to fame with Motown and major hits. Then, in 1966, they took another big leap by joining Motown Records. At first, they weren't a top priority for the label, and it wasn't clear if they would stand out. But they didn't take long to prove themselves. Their early Motown days brought a string of successful releases, and they were even invited to tour as the opening act for Diana Ross and the Supremes.
Still shines. I've heard that Diana Ross actually kicked you off of her tour because you were still in the thunder. Is that true? What happened? We want all the juice today. She's like, come on.
That did happen.
That's true.
Yeah.
An opportunity that introduced them to even wider audiences and helped secure their place in music history. In her memoirs, Gladys Knight revealed that Diana Ross had them removed from the tour because Gladys's powerful singing sometimes outshined Ross's performance. Berry Gordy, the boss of Motown, later admitted to Gladys that her act was becoming serious competition for his star. In 1973, they made an important choice to leave Motown and sign with Buddha Records. This change was a big moment in their career, leading to even more success. That same year, they released Midnight Train to Georgia, which not only won a Grammy, but also reached number 1 on both the pop and R&B charts. They kept the hits coming with songs like I've Got to Use My Imagination, The Way We Were, Try to Remember, and Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me. During the summer of 1974, Gladys Knight and the Pips worked with the famous producer Curtis Mayfield to create the soundtrack for the movie Claudine. This soundtrack featured memorable songs such as On and On, The Makings of You, and Make Yours a Happy Home. Their music also gained a strong following in Europe, especially in the UK, where they became very popular. Many of their songs became hits there, sometimes years after they first succeeded in the US. For example, Midnight Train to Georgia reached the UK top 5 in 1976, 3 years after it was a hit in America. Solo career and later group work. As the late 1970s arrived, legal problems forced Gladys Knight and the Pips to work separately, marking a major change in their careers. Gladys started a solo career, releasing her first album, Miss Gladys Knight, in 1978 with Buddha Records, followed by another album, Gladys Knight, in 1979 with Columbia Records. At the same time, Gladys was also experiencing changes in her personal life. After divorcing James Newman II in 1973, she later married Barry Hankerson, who is the uncle of the future R&B star Aaliyah. At that time, Barry worked as an assistant to Detroit's mayor, Coleman Young. In 1976, they welcomed a son named Shanga Ali, born on August 1st. Their marriage went through difficult times, eventually leading to a hard custody fight over their child. Custody battle and creative comeback. On the career side, 1980 was a big year for Gladys Knight. Johnny Mathis asked her to sing 2 duets with him, including the classic When a Child is Born and The Lord's Prayer. Shortly after, Gladys Knight and the Pips signed with Columbia Records, reuniting the group as 4 members and starting a fresh phase in their music journey. They worked with the famous former Motown producers Nicholas Ashford and Valerie Simpson. Their new era at Columbia began with 2 albums focused on love, About Love in 1980 and Touch in 1981. The album About Love featured the popular song Landlord, which connected deeply with fans and added to their list of hits. This time marked a creative return for the group. In 1983, they kept the momentum going with the release of Save the Overtime for Me, a soulful boogie track produced by Leon Silvers III, known for his work with Shalamar. The song reached number 66 on the Hot 100 and topped the R&B chart for 1 week in mid-1983, their first R&B number 1 since 1974. The music video was innovative for its time, mixing R&B with early hip-hop styles, making it one of the first to do so. The album Visions, which included Save the Overtime for Me, showed the group's ability to adapt and included another R&B hit, You're Number 1 in My Book, proving they were still a strong presence in music. Solo rise. In 1987, Gladys Knight chose to start a solo career, ending an amazing chapter with the Pips. Their last album together, All Our Love, came out that year on MCA Records and featured the catchy lead single, Love Overboard. The song quickly reached number 1 on the R&B charts and earned the group another Grammy Award, adding to their impressive legacy. After a successful farewell tour in 1988, Gladys Knight closed her chapter with the Pips and started her solo career. The Pips decided to retire, ending an unforgettable era filled with great music and memorable performances. Gladys Knight, already famous both as part of the Pips and as a solo artist, began her solo journey with renewed energy and focus. The legacy of Gladys Knight and the Pips remains strong in music history, with many honors including inductions into the Georgia Music Hall of Fame in 1989, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1996, and the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 2001. In 1985, while still with the Pips, Knight made a significant impact in raising AIDS awareness by joining Dionne Warwick, Stevie Wonder, and Elton John on the hit charity song, That's What Friends Are For. This song topped the charts and won a Grammy for Best Pop Performance by a duo or group with vocal in 1986. That same year, Knight appeared with Dionne Warwick and Patti LaBelle in the HBO special Sisters in the Name of Love, showcasing their incredible talents. On March 27, 1988, she gave a powerful performance of America the Beautiful at WrestleMania 4 in Atlantic City, demonstrating her wide range as an artist. The following year, Knight recorded License to Kill, the title song for the James Bond movie, which became a top 10 hit in both the UK and Germany, strengthening her international reputation. In 1991, she took another important step in her solo career by releasing her third solo album, Good Woman. The album reached #1 on the R&B album charts and included the hit single, Men, which reached #2 on the R&B charts and made it to #45 on the Billboard 200, her highest solo chart position. The album also featured Superwoman, written by Babyface and featuring Dionne Warwick and Patti LaBelle, which earned a Grammy nomination. That same year, Knight collaborated with Patti LaBelle on the song I Don't Do Duets for LaBelle's album Burn. Gladys Knight's amazing journey combines outstanding musical talent with meaningful moments both on stage and beyond. She impressed fans by singing the national anthem at Game 1 of the World Series with her strong, soulful voice. Her fourth solo album, Just For You, went gold and received a Grammy nomination for Best R&B Album in 1995, proving her success as a solo artist. Legacy, advocacy, and global recognition. Knight's passion for music and dedication to giving back were clear in her many collaborations and charity work. In 2004, she co-headlined VH1's Divas Live concert to support the Save the Music Foundation. The following year, she sang a duet with Ray Charles on his album Genius and Friends. In 2008, she teamed up with Chaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, and Diana Ross at the Divas with Heart event to raise money for heart research. She also appeared on American Idol to help raise funds for charity, performing alongside stars like Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr., and Ben Stiller, showing her ongoing commitment to using her talent for good causes. One of Gladys Knight's most emotional moments was in 2009 when she performed His Eye is on the Sparrow and The Lord's Prayer at Michael Jackson's funeral, paying tribute to the King of Pop. In 2013, she showed her versatility by singing You and I Ain't Nothing No More, written by Lenny Kravitz, for the movie soundtrack of Lee Daniels' The Butler. Her 2014 album, Where My Heart Belongs, became her 30th album to reach the R&B Top 40, counting her work with the Pips. That same year, she encouraged women in the entertainment world to value self-respect and to avoid using their image in a way that compromises their dignity, standing firm in her beliefs of grace and honor. Gladys Knight's impact grew even more when VH1 ranked her number 18 on their list of the 100 greatest women of rock. In 2019, she sang the national anthem at the Super Bowl, a performance that received mixed responses because of Colin Kaepernick's protests. Knight supported his cause, but shared her own thoughts about how protests should be done. That year, she also performed at the 100th anniversary of the Delaware State Fair. In 2022, her huge influence on music and culture was recognized when she received the Kennedy Center Honors, presented by President Joe Biden. She also starred at the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit dinner at the White House, proving her lasting influence worldwide. Gladys Knight's journey shows her incredible talent, strong spirit, and deep dedication to music and making a positive impact on the world. Gladys Knight's life shows us the power of strength and never giving up. Despite many hardships, she kept chasing her dreams and made a lasting impact with her music. Her story reminds us that true success comes from resilience and staying true to who you are. Thanks for watching.